I would have waited an eternity for this.
Jesus, I nearly did. What was up with the delay here? The Studio series has branched out into yet another subline to show that it's the best thing ever. Unless you're a Bayverse or Gamer Edition collector, in which case, my condolences. But the new Concept series has a lot of potential to branch out into something like Hunt for the Decepticons, where we get characters we wouldn't have anticipated. This could be the opportunity to get a 2007 RC, or a Revenge of the Fallen Springer. The potential is there. And our flagship figures from this subline appear to be a range of unused designs from the Bumblebee movie, which look really cool. Since the movieverse isn't really my forte though, I'll gladly skip Sunstreaker and Rumble, but I'll be f***ed if I don't gush about Studio Series Bumblebee concept art Megatron. Holy shit, this guy is pretty. The sculpting, proportions, and overall design here are absolutely stunning. I love the intricate detail and the huge chunky armor segments accentuated by lighter details and rivets. All the pistons and pipes are meticulously sculpted and it all comes together into a really satisfying image. I'm not too keen on the head. I really like the design with the signature bucket helmet and the beady evil eyes, but something about the sculpt looks a little out of focus compared to the rest of the details. The painting here is sublime. The silver coats so much of the figure's surfaces and feels really durable. It really brings this figure to life, and the accents of rich deep red and occasional pops of black provide some nice colour breakup. I feel like a lot of this figure's heavy lifting is done by the choice of grey plastic too, with a nice deep dark shade of plastic that really brings some personality into this guy. He comes with just one accessory, but my god is it a good one. The fusion cannon here feels more like a cannon than ever, boasting a kind of Star Destroyer gun type energy. Is that just me? I really love the colour separation and the slightly asymmetrical details. The cannon can of course fit on the arm in a couple of ways, or the back in a couple of ways, but I really like how mean it looks in its stock configuration. Definitely something you don't want to be on the wrong end of. The major selling point in this guy for me was the extreme amount of articulation. This is easily one of the most articulated Chug figures I have ever seen. He has everything I can think of, bar an ab crunch, right down to MP hands, universal ankles, above and below elbow swivels, huge butterfly joints, above average ranges in general, and the list goes on. There are very few poses I attempted with this guy that he had any difficulty achieving. While the look and posing would have been enough to impress me, this thing really won me over by its feel. The plastic feels really dense and sturdy, and the joints are f***ing rigid. He does not move unless you want him to, and I'm here for it. And I really didn't expect for him to be this big. I know he was supposed to dwarf Optimus, but I didn't expect the toy to be this much bigger. And trust me, that is not a complaint. His robot mode is just blatantly fantastic. Just a shame about the other two modes. Transformation to his first alt mode is fairly simple and fun and leaves us with an okay yoga pose masquerading as a tank. This one's not too bad, I suppose. The treads are quite nice on how they compact themselves down, and the bottom half is pretty solid, but strangely featureless. But the turret is where it really goes downhill for me. The way the turret comes together using the articulation is clever, but it leaves you with angles that don't seem to line up with the rest of the mode. It looks so detached, and that becomes even worse when you move the turret even slightly. It just becomes more of an indiscriminate lump than before. I feel like the tank here really could have used some distinguishing features beyond the turret and the treads, because without it, it doesn't really look too solid. The jet mode, however, does have a well-defined cockpit and a set of wings. It's just a shame that it's so much worse around them. The transformation to get you to this flying thing is really mushy and unclear, and it leaves you with what looks even more like a crab than the Revenge of the Fallen Voyager. There are some things to like. The kind of Imperial First Ordery vibe remains with the cockpit design. That's neat. I like the spikes coming from the knees and the idea behind the boosters on the back, but it's such a shame that the arms are hanging underneath basically unchanged and the legs make this look far too bulky to fly. I really dislike both ways that the cannon attach and prefer to leave it off altogether, and this jet mode does not want to stay in one piece. Out of my movie Megatrons that turn into jets, one does it a lot better than the other. I don't know. The alt modes aren't great, but the robot mode is incredible, to the point where it outweighs the flaws for me. And if you don't like the alt modes, then there are a million fan modes to choose from, I suppose. Overall, I really like this guy. He's such a great looking and feeling figure that I don't really know how they could improve on the design in future films. I'm really happy with him, and I feel like he can really fit the spot of any Chug or movie style Megatron. If you aren't opposed to the vehicle modes, then I strongly recommend this delicious little Mega Boy.